Alright, so we're on to our game for the showdown for tonight. We've got the challengers Mobaka, Tet, and Ramsey challenging last week's champions, I Can't, and Zilla. So let's move on to the draft with Sen here. And something seems to be wrong. And we're just having technical glitches here.
Let's talk about roles. So for the challengers side, Tet will be our roamer, RMZ will be taking the lane, and Mobaka will be in jungle role. As for the champion side, I Can't will be the roamer, I Can is the laner, and Wazilla is the team jungler. So going on to draft, it can go any way depending on what the first band will be. Hovering over that sky, or what do I? See what they do. Yeah, and then they ban Lorelai. It's probably a target ban against Wei because Wazilla has been winning lots of ranked matches with this hero in the jungle. And a ban on Lyra looks like Champions team don't want to play against that.
Yeah, the Lyra ban seems pretty targeted at Tet, and because he pretty much dominated the last season's showdown with the Lyra, and Lyra is still a pretty strong pick in this meta as well. Hovering over Team B will answer to that draft.
Yeah, I Can has also been using Catherine, so I think he might pick that up. If not, he'll probably take a Grace. I'm thinking Catherine. Yeah, these Aurelion and Lyra are both strong. Ooh, it's a churn of interesting. And I Can will probably pick up my signature pick, which is either the Rona or the Black Feather. It's very, very comfortable and very good on those balls.
Yeah, Churnwalker is an amazing roam at this point. He's got great early game damage, and his chains and hooks are very annoying to deal with. He's probably one of the most tilting roams to play against at this point.
That is true. See, and he did pick up the roam. So RMZ is hovering over that sky, which is a very good pick into Rona because she has that mobility. She's able to kite Rona for days. There they go. And that will probably go into the jungle. So right now we're waiting to see how they pick for that lane. What do you think they'll go?
For a lane, they need someone that needs to be able to deal with Rona. Considering they picked Sky, they're probably expecting a Taka pick, so they might go for Vox, but they go for a jungle Cruel, which means that the Sky, Crystal Powered Sky, is going in the lane against the Rona, which is something you don't usually see in lane. Team B hovering over the pedal. What do you think about that?
It's probably a counter to Cruel. So it's to counter that Cruel in the jungle, so that Cruel won't be able to bully the jungle and just take over from there. Overall, I kind of like the pick, the drafting more on B side. I'm not too sure about that Cruel pick into this comp. I mean, it's okay, but Rona in this batch, she is very strong, and she has very good sustaining. I feel like it's almost on par with Cruel. So,
I think the Cruel will be struggling against the Churnwalker and Pedal, and Rona having the inbuilt mortal wounds in her kit is definitely going to be something that the Cruel will have to put up with. He'll also be struggling in the jungle early game because of the Crystal Powered Pedal, who loves invading and is a great counter pick against the Cruel. So we'll see how the early game aggression, who's the one that's trying to initiate that, and who takes it away from there.
Looking at what RMZ bought for his first item, one heading into that lane. I thought it might have been a weapon power Sky in lane, but I guess they think CP Sky is a lot better. I guess it's for that mobility and able to attack from range. Oh, Tet with that sneaky play, but didn't quite get that skill in the mid-train. And looks like both team are just gonna head their merry way and continue farming with jungle.
Yeah, the Sky with the Weapon Blade is probably just to help her with the early farm, and I was thinking they'd probably switch up their Sky as a weapon powered after seeing the pedal being picked up. But I guess they're confident in their CP Sky to be able to just run that against the CP.
Historically, doesn't do well into pedal because the pedal just body block. The Minions just body block her for Barrage, which is basically her main damage of CP Sky. But we have to see what they do from here on out. What do you think the side of the challenger team needs to do in order to win this, take this game away?
Yeah, the challenger team is gonna have a tough time if they can just stave off the early aggression from the pedal. Let the Sky scale up. She will definitely be able to carry late game with Crow just being more of a distraction than an actual damage threat. It'll just be something that. But here we see early aggression coming in from the champion side, and looks like the Crow was in a bit of trouble, but was able to get out. Rona's still going in, but the Crow managed to run away from
going into that team 1v3, especially when the whole team was there as Crow. But I guess he's trying to secure his jungle, trying not to let them take it. But honestly, if I was in their shoes, I probably would have tried to do like a sneaky rotation. Oh, and they got the kill on RNG. That was a nice hook by Icon. Very well done.
Yeah, first blood goes to the champion side. The healing flask was available for the Sky, but wasn't able to pop that. And you also who would like to be putting the pressure on Crow over and over again in the jungle, like she's doing right now by trying to steal the mid again.
Yeah, very questionable though. I mean, CP Sky in lane generally doesn't do very well because her damage onto the minions is very, very low, so it's very, very hard to get those last hits. And when you are engaged in team fights, especially in lane, CP Sky gets body blocked by enemy minions as well, which is very bad. So kind of questionable why they would pick that into the carry role. But
yeah, and also trying not to get in the try to put get damage onto your enemies using your forward barrage. If you try to get away from the minions, you probably have to sword strike in a way where you put yourself in harm's way and not able to kite as well, and that's not something you want to do as a Sky. You want to be able to kite away and be able to get away from the Rona pedal and the Churnwalker especially.
Yes, I agree with you. You want to be able to kite and deal damage at the same time. So we're heading into the early mid phase of this game. Petal that invade once again. Jumping right on
the third time the Petal has been able to steal the mid Trian.
Some nice damage on Ican. Dropping very, very low. Yeah. There's no way out for this guy. He got cornered. Things are not looking good for our challenger teams. That first turret will go to the champions team pretty much uncontested. Nothing much that Orange can do. Yep, and then goes. This Crow, he isn't having much of an impact in fights. Haven't been seeing him come up lane, helping out, alleviating that lane pressure.
Yeah, or even ganking, which is one of the things that Crow does very well in the early game because of the damage and the ganking potential that he has. One more interesting thing, Zilla on his pedal has been maxing his B instead of his A. He wants to be able to have the mobility and the jumps from the trampoline rather than have the higher damage from the minions or the stronger defense for his minions. So that's something interesting that
I guess that's kind of good into this comp because both Sky and Crew depends on diving onto the enemy, and Sky depends on a very linear kind of damage, which is a forward barrage. So having the ability to jump like left and right often would be very good to
too far, gets taken down. Champion team still complete full health all around, and the Sky going really low. Doesn't quite have the damage yet to be able to take them down. Slows them down a little bit, takes the Rona down eventually, but is pretty low right now. And another couple of seconds, and probably the chains would have led to her demise as well.
That was a very, very good death from above by Arnley. It landed on both Churnwalker and Rona, which prevented them from actually taking that second turret over there. Had it not land and deal so much damage, the second we had fallen. It's a very good defense from Challenger team. See if he's able to pull out another play like that again.
Yeah, also, the Churnwalker had a fountain that he was able to use in that team fight. Well, Arden still doesn't have it. He definitely has the gold for it, but he still hasn't made the rotation to go and pick it up yet, which is something that the champion side definitely were able to get some use of. They put a decent amount of damage on the turret, lost a member of their team, but I think they'll take that trade any time of the day.
Looks like they're rotating the gold mine. Yeah, they're starting up the gold mine. Looks like it still hasn't been noticed by side of challenger teams. Look at the gold mine itself is dropping so fast. I don't think.
Looks like Arden's trying to.
Secure
Arden put down the gauntlet, but wasn't able to steal the gold mine. Stealing the gold mine still goes to Petal. The team fight's on their way.
Rona witness taking down
and
Sky instantly. Oh my god. This is not
the Sky
well
was
for the challenger.
The Sky and Crow were standing right next to Rona, just spinning, and that's not something you want to do as a Sky. The whole reason that Sky counters Rona is that she can keep repositioning and being able to get away from Rona, which wasn't the case here. And Arden gets taken down as well, but they don't get the ace because Sky was up already. But very, very good fight by Team B. Even though Team A initiated that, they weren't able to get anything off the gauntlet.
I guess it's all facilitated by this Churnwalker, because this Churnwalker is able to control how this crew engages in battle with his chains, and is able to keep Sky from moving as freely as she likes. Oh, Iken dropping very low. Got deleted by that Sky. Questionable play by him. Why was he soloing that Crystal Sentry?
Yeah, well, two members of the other team are already there, and Arden coming in as well. While his teammates are really low and want to get away from there. It was pretty confident, or maybe I could say overconfident move by him, and he pays for that with his life. But he now has his two core items that he needs with the Serpent's Mask and Breaking Point, and also has the two defensive items. So he's definitely online. And the Sky getting a Shatter Glass and working towards her second item at this point.
Yeah. I feel like what Challenger team needs to do right now is have a target focus. Possibly land Hell's Heart on that Petal, delete the Petal, and then shift the target focus onto Rona. Looks like second turret is gonna go down.
Questionable gauntlet by the Arden there, just trying to zone them out from getting the turret, but they still do get it without any of the teammates being there. Stun landing on all three teams using from the Churnwalker. The crew goes down, Sky's really low too, goes down to the Rona. And Churnwalker seems like he was about to go down, but he uses his flash to stay alive. Arden the only member alive, and looks like they're going to get the choke point turret here.
This is very, very dominant play from the side of Team B. Team A doesn't really have anything to respond to their engagers. The Rona is just stacking, and sustaining through all their fights. All that battle was able to kite that crew easy. Crew only has one third tier 3 item, which is not a place where you want to be. For crew, when you're in like the mid to late game phase, you want to build up at least a lot of armor, boots with that single tier 3 item to actually be of impact. That was probably because he was bullied out of his jungle by that Petal pick, which was a very, very smart pick by the team.
Yeah, the champion team now looking to get the gold mine right now with all the challenger team porting back. I don't really like the tension bow build on Crow because he was picked majorly as a counter to Rona, but with the tension bow poison ship build, he he's not going to be able to do much to the Rona with the sustain and everything that she has from the pedal heals and the Churn Walker chain. Stun on to Arden there, late block there, but Gauntlet comes down. Rona gets stunned.
That's very low. There's nothing the challenger team can do. The side of the champions team are just way too tanky. Have a goal lead of 10,000 11 minutes in. It's not where you want to be if you want to take down the champions team.
Very dominant display by them.
Very nice, keeping those minions away from the turret, which prevents any aggro onto the turret. The challenge team are holding on.
Yeah, 12 minutes in, they're already in their base, trying to get the Being Crystal turrets, which just shows how dominant they've been with this, with the pedal and the Churn Walker, and the Rona also coming in clutch, especially against the Sky, which is not something you usually see. So with the Rona being actually playing against her counter picks, which are Sky, CP Sky, and a Crow, is doing actually very well for herself and has 7 kills. Which is
Rona can have very good play. I wouldn't say Cool is a counter pick to her. It's more of like a pick to challenge her. But Sky,
it's more to keep the Rona in check. But it's definitely not getting the work that should be done.
Yeah. But the reason why I think that this Rona is able to win out the Sky is mainly because of the laning phase, where CP Sky would struggle heavily with laning. Questionable choice from them. I'm guessing that they wanted RMZ to hyper carry on that Sky, but we shall see.
But the Rona. Also, Rona has her 2 core items with Serpent's Mass Breaking Point, her 2 defensive items, and picks up the Journey Boots. She's already been able to get onto the Sky multiple times throughout the team fights, and looks like she has even more mobility now. So Ramsey is definitely going to have a hard time on the CP Sky. And the pedal looks like it's going for a 4 damage item build. Has no defenses except for just the boots to be able to get away. And the healing flask still in there.
I think that's
almost getting away there.
Implementation because Wei Zilla on this battle does not need defense at the moment because he has 2 frontliners which body blocks from Hell's Heart from
Cool.
He has the jumps to be able to evade the RMZ's forward barrage on the Sky, as well as to kite the crew from and prevent the crew from actually staying on top of Wei. So he's able to build this build because of the inbuilt petal against this comp.
Yeah, also a Null Wave Gauntlet picked up on the Churn Walker, which if applied at the right time on the Arden, is going to do a lot of work, and the Churn Walker is going to be able to get triple stun off if he can get his chains onto all 3 members of the challenger team, which will be huge in the team fights.
Yeah, if you're able to get those hooks on, land your ult and stun all 3 of them, you should be able to pretty much delete that Sky immediately. To see whether Iken is able to pull that off in our next team fight, which is about to break out soon. Kraken startup by Champions team, noticed by the challengers, and the fight breaks out. Witness going in, Gauntlet out. Team fight breaking out, Tech dropping very low. Pedal gets deleted.
Pedal goes down to the crew and the Sky. Crew going really low, so does the Arden. The Sky trying to put in a lot of work, but the Churn Walker is really tanky and isn't that easy to get a takedown.
Nice save by Ted getting RMZ out of that situation. Oh, I can drop in so low. Ted secures the kill.
And they're able to get the ace off. Sky doing what she does best in sort of a 1v3 where she's able to just kite the Rona and the Churn Walker out and put a lot of damage. And this is a bad time to be able to give up an ace and lose a team fight. Because now with the Kraken on line, they're going to be able to get the Kraken as well as ace minions pushing in, getting the first turret. Zilla may be trying to go in for a steal, but let's see how that works out for them.
Secured by RMZ. During the previous team fight, the reason why they were able to win out was because they caught Wazer and then Gauntlet, and all three of them were able to sort of collapse in and just delete Wazer. And with Mubaka's tension bow, he's able to dish out some close damage and ensure that Petal doesn't have any time to respawn with healing herself or whatnot.
Yeah, and since the Churn Walker was busy with the Kraken, there was no front lining to body block the Sky's forward barrage also at that point. But the Sky seems to be coming online with the Dragon's Eye, Shadowglass, and Eve doing a lot of damage, sitting on 9 Dragon's Eye stacks at this point, putting a lot of damage on the Churn Walker.
Dropping already half out. Engage is gonna come out. Gauntlet drop. Wazer going in. Champions team dropping very low, but the Rona is able to sustain with the red mist. Crew going in, trying to kill the Petal, but isn't quite able to secure that kill. And looks like Challenger team is gonna exit, saying that they've taken enough.
Yeah, they already got 2 turrets and a decent amount of damage, almost 3/4 damage on the choke point turret. So they should be happy with that. And with the Sky coming online, that's a decent amount of gold in their pocket as well. Gold lead's still sitting at about 11 or 12k, which is not but as the game goes later and later, not a gold much of a gold lead doesn't really matter if pretty much everyone has their items online. But yeah, the Sky seems to be dishing out a lot of damage, and the body blocks aren't really there. The Churn Walker also picking up an Aegis to be able to body block for his carries, which is definitely a great item.
Yeah, and RMZ, knowing this, probably should be getting Broken Mist to counter that build. He needs to stack off on that Churn Walker before he engages. What I feel the Challenger team needs to be doing more, like you said, that Churn Walker needs to start body blocking more. Looks like a team fight is gonna break out. Portrait spin, jump out. Nice out block by Ted, but this
guy gets taken down. Arden going for his Echo Gauntlet, but the Churn Walker just pulls him away and cancels his second gauntlet. Now they're in their base, taking the 2 turrets. Cruel just has to haplessly sit back and look at what's going on because there's not much he can do. He's trying to get the Petal down, but he's not able to. He dies right before he can smite the Petal, who's able to kite him effectively in. This should be game right here. A bit of BM coming from the champion side, with the Rona in their base, but this is game. The 8th minion's complete the game for them.
Yeah, there was a very good team fight at the 15 minute mark by the Challenger team. They were able to turn around the Kraken steal, capitalize on the poor misposition of Wazer and take the Kraken, but the side of the Challenger team were already ahead in terms of goal lead. And despite that loss, they were still able to win team fight, which was the most crucial and just take the win. This I feel is mostly because of that early game that Crew couldn't come online due to the
you can already see the disparity in farm with the Crew sitting on 57 farm at the end of the game and the Petal at 115. That's almost twice or more than twice of what the Crow has. So that definitely contributed in a lot of
contributed to a lot of the why the Challenger team lost Showdown. GG's all around. Good try by the Challenger team, but it's like our Champions team be reigning supreme for yet another week, and hopefully we can see another Challenger team pick up the challenge and dethrone our current champions. Well done to Ican, and Wazer. You guys definitely deserve it.
Yeah, great game all around. Thank you so much everyone for watching. This was Seller with Sang, and we'll see you next week.